Hello, everyone. This is Real Talk from the Heart. um, my my title today is called Introduction, and this is the introduction of my podcast. It's going to be called it is called Real Talk from the Heart. Once I work out all the links and everything, so I just wanted to tell you a little bit about this podcast going forward. Um, Probably will meet once a week, and I would be interviewing guests on here. I'm excited because I've been dragging my feet with this. You may have seen me on Facebook, you may have seen me on Instagram, sharing my truths about my heart or the heart. Um, I'm excited. It's a new year. It's a new season. It's a God season. Yes, it is. Um, we go through life and we go through experiences, but you know what I mean? But God. That's all I can say, but God. This introduction to what is going on in my life and what has happened. My objective is to help people in the same situation that I've been through to go through it. Sometimes you need a coach to coach you. Sometimes you need a cheerleader to cheer you on when everything looks bad. Yeah, we go through a lot of things in life, but that should not stop us from being who God has called us to be, right? In our life. Some of us are mothers, some of us are sisters, some of us are aunts, some of us are uncles, us are fathers, brothers, um, grandmoms, cousins. We wear so many hats in our life, right? So in this season, right, you're gonna learn how to go through with everything that's being thrown at you. Seriously, because we think that sometimes we are all alone when we go through life, and we're not. But the one thing I love about God is, right, if you if you listen to him and if you follow him, he would always send help your way. I remember being a little girl, and I was so rebellious. I was a rebellious little girl. I was. And I swore like someone owed me something. I did. I thought that, someone owed me something. And why did I feel like that? Because it was the trauma that happened in my life. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to deal with the trauma. So sometimes in life we make people that love us pay for things that happen to us in our life. You understand that? Trauma is real. I recently started back up in my semester, um and I was going for business management, and I decided to change my major to behavioral health. And at first, I was scared because I was like, all right, let me just take one more business management class. Let me just do this. I was so scared. I was fearful because I'm like, dag, this is outside the norm for me because I know what I should be doing. But sometimes when we're doing what we're so comfortable doing, what we're so used to doing something that is outside the norm will seem uncomfortable. And I just wanted to tell you, you're going to be uncomfortable in this season of your life. You really are, because um, you're not supposed to be comfortable when things are going on. You're not supposed to. I felt as though being a believer and believing in God, that things should be easier for me because I believe in the Most High. But I actually found out something. I found out that being a believer in God makes things we think it's supposed to be easier, but the closer we get to God, the more stuff starts to happen, and we are being tested in Him. We being tested to see if we're going to curse God. And sometimes when you're being tested in God, you just don't understand why you're being tested in Him. And I'm just like you. I didn't understand why God would keep testing me with the same thing, with the same thing. I'm like, God, I thought I already had this already. I already thought I went through this lesson already. But I'm here to tell you, you're going to keep being tested with that same thing until you, inside you, decide that this is it. I'm going to trust God in everything that I do and every step that I do. And I understand that you may look at somebody else and they may look like that they got it going on, and they may look like that they don't have troubles, and they may look like that everything is smooth. But if I bet you, if you just ask them and let your guard down, and if you were just humbled, I believe that you, not that you would be connected with someone that is going through something, but sometimes in life, we are not supposed to look like what we're going through. And the season, you're not supposed to look like what you're going through. You're not. Um, we go through so much in life, and people expect us to go through and look like what we're going through. You're not supposed to look like what you're going through, especially when you're proclaiming that you are a product of God and you believe in Him, um, and you love Him. You're not supposed to look like what you're going through. And that's easier said than done. Sometimes we have weak moments. Sometimes we have to go through by ourselves because God wants our undivided attention. But I am here to tell you that lean not into your own understanding, but trust in God in all of his ways, not your ways, all of his ways. Because sometimes when we go through trauma, right, we don't think correctly. We don't respond correctly. We don't do things correctly. We're responding out of trauma. We're responding out of survivor's mode. We're just doing things out of the norm. You know what I mean? So I need you to challenge yourself. I know it's hard. I do. I know it's hard. Trust me. I know it's hard. Trust me. I know it's hard. And the reason why I say trust me, I know it's hard because I had to go through some things to get to this part where I'm at right now. I had to go through losing a case, and I had to go through some stuff because I couldn't remember certain things, because when I was drinking, I was remembering, I couldn't function. Like I was like, God, like, why would you have me go through these things? Like, why would you have me lose? Why would you have me, you know, but I understood the assignment after I finished crying, after I finished, telling God, like, I think that was wrong. You know what I mean? Why we had to go through this? Why, I was always asking God why. And people say, well, you shouldn't be questioning God. I have a relationship with God. And I would talk to him like I would talk to my friend, like I would talk to my mother, and like I would talk to people that I love, because I love God. And I didn't understand why. Why, God? Why? Why am I going through these things? Why would you allow someone to hurt me the way that they hurt me? You know what I mean? And then I've been going through life, and I had to learn to take accountability for some of my actions that I've done in my life, and ignoring what God was trying to tell me because I wanted what I wanted right then and there. You know what I mean? Who ever been in a place where you just wanted what you wanted, and you didn't care what anybody else told you? You didn't care how you was going to get from A to B. You just knew that you had your eye on the prize that you thought that was good for you, because we all go through a season where we think God, well, we think, no, not God, when we think that we should have certain things, it's called entitlement. When we go through life thinking that we should have certain things and we shouldn't go through certain things, and we don't understand, and we're not really trying to understand, because we just know that this is what we want. not what we need, but what we want. We make our wants our needs. And I'm just telling you, and I'm aligning with you to tell you I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. I've done that. Some people say I got a t-shirt, I got the cup, I got the bruises, I got all of these things, right? But my podcast, Real Talk from the Heart, is here to help people deal with their heart. Seriously, 4 years I've been in this process, and I've been digging and I've been digging and I've been digging. And I've been going to church, it seemed like my whole life. And I felt like at one moment I was just going and I was just imitating what I've seen everybody else doing, not really getting it for myself. Most people say the pandemic is the worst time of their life, and I'm sorry. I mean, but I feel like the pandemic had made me who I am today because I had some things that I had to go through and I had to deal with by myself. There was no one that I can call. There wasn't no one that was really willing to come out because they scared, or they was risking, getting the coronavirus. So while everybody else was scared and fearful, I was just trying to figure out, if I was going to go to that day or the next day, I was going to go with my family because my family meant a lot to me. Um, they was telling us that we needed to quarantine, and I just knew that I had to be around my loved ones, and um, I just had to be around them. I'm sorry. If it was going to be my last day on earth, I was going to spend it with my family, and that's how I felt. And I didn't care. I would disinfect and everything, but I just knew that I was going to be with my family if it happened. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody else felt like that, but I did. I felt like that. Um, Going into the pandemic, I lost my mother, and I had to deal with some things with my heart. That's why I call this Real Talk from the Heart, because what I realize is it is a heart matter that we're going through in life. Because the scripture, out of the heart the mouth speaks. There was one point of time in my life where I didn't feel love in my heart. I felt hatred, and I felt voids in my life, right? And I was trying to fill every void that was in my life. Hold on, guys. I need some light. Hold on, guys. Oh my God. Note to self: learn how to work your equipment before you start something online. Oh my God. That's better. All right. I just felt like I needed some light. So, as I began to the pandemic, where I left off, I don't remember where I left off, but during the pandemic, before the pandemic happened, I lost my mother, and I had to learn how to go through some things myself. So I wasn't really the type of person who would express myself clearly, because I didn't know how to feel what I was feeling at the time. So I had to learn how to deal with my heart. And I just know, as I was dealing with my heart, there was things popping up in the natural and the spiritual realm. And I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to handle certain things that was happening in my life at that moment during the pandemic. I didn't know how to handle, you know, a lot of things that was thrown my way that was out of my control. And I just knew that when I was drinking, that was in my control, because I called the shots pretty much. I called the shots. I drank the shots. So, and people like, well, that's just drinking, but drinking was my choice of drug. I'm sorry, it was. It numbed me. And these I realized as I start coming out of my addiction, I realized that I was blacking out, and I probably was saying stuff, I probably was doing things. And how I realized that I was doing things is because people would ask me questions about what I said, and I would be like, "Dag, I said that," you know. So my podcast, um, this is very, very, very important. I was been supposed to start this podcast, and I didn't. Dragging my feet, worrying about, what my topics. Every time I came up to something, like far as me starting, I always had something that was a focal point of why I wasn't going to start this podcast. And I told myself this year that I would, start my podcast. So I literally, on purpose, haven't been saying anything on my platforms, but writing and posting on purpose, because sometimes I realize that you got to take a rest. So when you begin to speak, or when you begin to talk, you can have something that's fresh and brand new. And I decided Sunday, January 28th, was going to be the day. I ordered all my equipment, and I'm like, okay, it's about to go down. It's happening. Yeah, it's happening. Real talk from the heart, it's happening. So I decided that I was going to order me a webcam. I was going to order me a microphone. My best friend, she donated me the ring light. So I don't know why I didn't have that light on. So I was like, it's perfect. It's perfect. And the one thing is, with the new journey, and eventually I'm going to get into all the stuff that's unraveled in my life. But I'm just excited about, what God is doing and has been doing in my life. And words can't explain, words can't explain, words cannot describe how good God is to me and my family. We go through things, but most importantly, we're family. We're stuck with each other. We have the same blood. And it took me a long time to really realize that, because I was always the one shutting down, not dealing with my family just because I didn't feel like dealing with them, just like with people, you know. But I learned that you cannot do that to people that you love. So I decided to be the bigger person on numerous occasions, because I know what God is doing in our lives. And sometimes you need one or two gathered in his name. And it is so. And if we ask in our Father's name, then, it is so. So, real talk from the heart, guys. It is so exciting. It's exciting to me, because this is really has it, like, you don't understand. I've been prolonging this for so long because of fear. And I told myself, I said, fear will no longer live in my household, in my heart. I will no longer be a slave to fear. You know that song. I will no longer be a slave to fear and rejection. I will no longer be a slave to fear, a slave to rejection, because God validated me and He accepts me for who I am and for who He created me to be. Um, and sometimes in life, we just have to express, we have to pretty much be accountable for what God is doing and how He is creating us and molding us for our future and for our present. I'm just excited because a lot of things should have took me out. They should have. The devil, he was trying mentally, it wasn't physically, but it was mentally. But I decided that mental health would not no longer be part of my bloodline anymore. I decided that I was going to keep pushing no matter what the obstacles were, no matter what, guys, no matter what. Now, I am just starting out, and I am not really tech savvy on a lot of things. You give me a phone, I could figure it out. Computers, I really don't like computers, but can I say God has a sense of humor on him? Because when I first started Harkham College, I tried to do everything on my phone, and it hurted me that I couldn't, upload and do things on this phone, do my assignments, because it's just some things that you can't do because it's not going to be professional. So going back into my computer, even when I was at Verizon, I was so glad we got tablets because I hated the computer. I did. I hated the computer. I didn't like it, even though I knew how to work some things. And now we got all this tech savvy stuff, the thumbnails and stuff for YouTube and stuff. So I would be figuring it out, but I'm just putting it out there. If anybody wants to help me, I accept help today. I really do. I really do. I have um have somebody that I've been like pulling on her, like, I need you to help me. I need you to help me create. You know what I mean? And once I learn it, I have it. But it's something. It's the connection of the two is not connecting. So I say, God, allow me to want to do these things. You know what I mean? And I've also been watching a lot of podcasts, and I'm just a big fan of Dear Future Wife. So that was like my big inspiration. And I forgot to say this, right? If you're watching my podcast today, can you please subscribe? And I would have all those things going on. But now it's just me and me telling you just to subscribe, please. But and I hope this journey with Real Talk from the Heart, I just pray and hope that you like it. If you like my Real Talks from the Heart, um I hope that you would like this. And I would be looking for guests to be on my Real Talk from the Heart, just to ask you like questions or whatever, and we can have conversations. We can even do Zoom links. Like, I'm learning how to do it all because in this time we are so mobile, and I'm willing to go the extra mile for this Real Talk from the Heart to be successful. So I love you guys, and I thank you, and I thank you, and I thank you for your support. I really do. I thank you to all my Facebook support. I just need some YouTube support. So please like my video, subscribe to my show, my podcast, and share it. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for you to donate money. I'm not asking for you to do any of that. I just need you to share my journey, Real Talk from the Heart. Okay? So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any ideas, I'm open to it. You can inbox me, you can email me. My email address is Shante, is SHANTE, 2446 at gmail.com. My Facebook is Shantae Lofton. On Facebook, you'll see that it's me. My Instagram is Real Talk from the Heart underscore. So it's real talk, it's real underscore talk underscore from the heart, from underscore the underscore heart. Real talk from the heart, but it's all underscores after the word. Um, Please like and share, and you have a great day.